All right. Good afternoon, and welcome to the Afternoon View on the Dawg Knight Channel. So today, I just want to watch Joe Biden's speech from 9/11 yesterday because I wanted to see if he got through it, and first of all, how he got through it, and also if he could manage to get through it in a unifying way and not attacking half the country like he did in his last couple speeches. So that's the goal, to see how he did, and I want you guys to decide if he accomplished not being divisive and just actually making it a unifying speech, because that's what we needed on remembrance of 9/11. So we'll get into that right after a short intro. Johnny, play that short intro. All right. Welcome again to the Afternoon View on the Dawg Knight Channel. It's the 12th of September 2022. And yesterday, obviously, was the September 11th anniversary, the 21st anniversary of September 11th. And I said this morning that I was going to come back this afternoon and we're going to watch Joe Biden's speech. I haven't seen it. I didn't know he made one. I assumed he would have, but I did not see it. So I thought this afternoon we can watch the speech and see how it goes. And I'm not here to criticize Joe Biden. I just want to see the speech and see if he can get through it without throwing in his little divisive digs that he likes to get in there, or if he just gets through the speech at all. It looks like it's about, I'm going to guess, let's see, it looks like it's about 15 minutes long, just under 15 minutes. So let me full screen over here, and we'll get right into it. I just want to watch the speech, and we'll talk about it as it goes. And here we go. Here's Defense Secretary, is it Lloyd Benson? Lloyd Benson. What's his name? Is that his name? I don't know. Anyway, here he is introducing the president, and take it away, Secretary Benson.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to introduce the President of the United States.
Solemn day. Looks
Secretary
a little tired. Austin. Lloyd
General
Austin.
Milley.
That's his name. Lloyd Benson. That
To
was
all the
senator.
families and loved ones who still feel the ache of that missing piece of your soul, I'm honored to be here with you once more to share this solemn rite of remembrance and reflect on all that was lost in the fire and ash on that terrible September morning, and all that we found in ourselves to respond. 21 years ago, 21 years, and we still kept our promise, never forget. We'll keep the memory of all those precious lives stolen from us. 2,977 at Ground Zero in New York, and Shanksville, where my wife is speaking now, in Pennsylvania. 184 of them here at the Pentagon. And I know for all those of you who've lost someone, 21 years is both a lifetime and no time at all. It's good to remember. These memories help us heal, but they can also open up the hurt and take us back to that moment.
I think he's doing fine so far.
So raw. You think of everything they could have done if they had lived and just had a little more time. The experience you missed together, the dreams they never got to fulfill or realize. I remember a message sent to the American people from Queen Elizabeth. It was on September 11. Her ambassador read a prayer of service at St. Thomas Church in New York, where she poignantly reminded us, quote, "Grief is the price we pay for love. Grief is the price we pay for love."
Okay, I'm not sure what that means, but you know what? Nice touch. mentioning a message from Queen Elizabeth, as she has just passed a few days ago. Okay. He sounds, yeah, I know. I don't know if he sounds drunk. He just sounds tired and old, but he's tired and old. That's because he's tired and old. He can't help that. He sounds angry too. And I don't know if it's righteous anger, or if it's just kind of his speech style, but that's okay.
Many of us experienced that grief, and you've all experienced it. And on this day, when the price feels so great, Jill and I are holding all of you close to our hearts.
All of us?
Terror struck us in that brilliant blue morning. The air filled with smoke, and then came the sirens and the stories. Stories of those we lost, stories of incredible heroism from that terrible day. The American story itself changed that day. But
Okay, it changed that day. But I think one of the things that was important, that we didn't allow it to remain changed. Our American story continued, and that was very important. Let's see if he gets into that. I don't know if he gets into that, but that's my opinion.
We did change. What we will not change, what we cannot change, never will, is the character of this nation that the terrorists thought they could wound.
Spot on. Good job, Joe.
And what is that character? The character of sacrifice and love, of generosity and grace, of strength and resilience. In the crucible of 9/11, in the days and months that followed, we saw what stuff Americans are made of. Think of all of your loved ones, particularly those on that flight, ordinary citizens who said, we will not let this stand, risked and lost their lives so even more people would not die. We saw in the police officers and firefighters who stood on the pile on Ground Zero for months amid that twisted steel and broken concrete slabs, breathing the toxins and ash that would damage their health, refusing to stop the search through the destruction. They never stopped and would not. We learned about the extraordinary courage and resolve, as I said, of the passengers on board Flight 93, who understood that they were living the open, they were there in the middle of the open shot of a new war, and who chose to fight back.
Okay, he just got lost on his teleprompter, but I get what he's trying to say. He was the opening shot. They realized they were in the opening shot of a new war.
Not professionals, a fight back, sacrificing themselves, refusing to let their plane be used as a weapon against even more innocents. And here at the Pentagon, which was both the scene of the horrific terrorist attack and the command center for our response to defend and protect the American people, so many heroes were made here. So many of your loved ones were those heroes. Began almost immediately with civilians and service members leaping to action as the walls collapsed and the roof began to crumble. They raced into the breach between the 4th and 5th corridors. The impact created by the fire raged at twice the height of this building. I remember I was a U.S. Senator walking up to my office, and I could see the smoke and flames.
Do you remember?
They were heroes. They went back into those soaring flames to try to save their teammates. Firefighters battled a blaze of jet fuel long into the night, pushing past the bounds of exhaustion. Pentagon staff showed up to work on September 12th, more determined than ever to keep their country secure. As I said when I was up on 9/11, we will follow them to the gates of hell to be sure that they're not able to continue. And
you know what's strange here? I'm trying to watch the ASL interpreters, and they both have a little bit different style. I don't know if they're saying, I think they're saying the same things, but they're also not synced because one's right there and one's not. Anyway.
And millions of young men and women from across the nation responded to 9/11 attacks with courage and resolve, signing up to defend our Constitution and joining the greatest fighting force in the history of the world.
You know what? What the hell? Oh, hell. Well, good. That was timing. Let me,
Please welcome Ambassador Caroline Kennedy.
All right, I'm going to pause this. That was, I also had, he's delivering a speech on cancer right now, which I'll probably get to later. And so I had that in the background. I apologize for that. I want to stick to this speech. Yeah, he's gonna talk about defeating cancer. It's a political speech as far as I'm concerned. But anyway, let's go back to this one because I think this is important. I think what he has said so far has been spot on. He has probably, there's a couple ways you can do this. You can do this with a solemnness, which is probably the way George W. Bush would have done, or even when the guy with the funny, when Donald Trump would do these 9/11 speeches, he would do it with a solemnness. Joe's kind of doing it with a righteous indignation tone, and either one probably works. It's strange though. Hello, Jay Pylon. Hello, Jimmy Das. There's a bunch of people I haven't said hi to, but we'll keep going. Anyway, here we go.
And in the years since 9/11, hundreds of thousands of American troops have served in Afghanistan, Iraq, and so many other places around the world to deny terrorists a safe haven and to protect the American people.
Ooh, Jay,
and to all our service members and their families, our veterans, our Gold Star families, all the survivors and caregivers and loved ones who sacrificed so much for our nation. We owe you. We owe you an incredible debt.
Absolutely.
A debt that can never be repaid, but will never fail to meet the sacred obligation to you to properly prepare and equip those that we send into harm's way and care for those
Can he do
and
it?
their families when they come home.
He's going good so
And
far.
to never,
I would say he's
ever forget, through all that has changed over the last 21 years,
here we go.
the enduring resolve of the American people to defend ourselves against those who seek us harm and deliver justice to those responsible for the attacks against our people has never once faltered. It took 10 years to hunt down and kill Osama bin Laden, but we did. And this summer, I authorized a successful strike on Zawahiri, the man who bin Laden was his deputy in 9/11, who was the leader of Al-Qaeda, because we will not rest. We'll never forget. We'll never give up. And now Zawahiri can never again threaten the American people. In 20 years after.
Okay, so look, I commend them for getting Zawahiri, obviously, bin Laden, and every other terrorist leader we've gotten since then. I would rather, honestly though, I like the fact, even though we've killed them, I would have loved to see him end up in a U.S. prison somewhere. Because even the brothers in prison probably would not take lightly to those assholes. But I'm just saying. But I can't argue with what he's been saying so far.
Afghanistan is over, but our commitment to preventing another attack in the United States is without end. Our intelligence, defense, and counterterrorism professionals in the building behind me and across the government continue their vigilance against terrorist threats that has evolved and spread to new regions of the world. We'll continue to monitor and disrupt those terrorist activities wherever we find them, wherever they exist, and we'll never hesitate to do what's necessary to defend the American people.
Good.
What was destroyed, we have repaired. What was threatened, we fortified. What was attacked, the indomitable spirit has never, ever wavered. We raise monuments and memorials to the citizens whose blood sacrificed on these grounds and in Shanksville and Ground Zero.
Good so far.
To keep touch of the memory.
Can
Keep
he
it
do
bright.
it?
for all the decades to come. When future generations come here to sit in the shade of the maple trees that shelter the memorial grown tall and strong with passing years, they will find the names of patriots. They will feel the connection that will come to pass on September 11, 2001, and how our country was forever changed. And I hope they will think about all those heroes that were more than the hours and days and years that followed. Ordinary Americans responding in extraordinary and unexpected ways. I hope we'll remember that in the midst of these dark days, we dug deep, we cared for each other, and we came together.
Now, he's gone in about 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes, 10 minutes here so far. This would be a good time for him to finish the speech, because he's said everything that needs to be said, and that's very good so far. In my opinion, this is a good speech, okay? He stayed on the unifying part and hasn't wavered from it. But there's 5 minutes left for him to fuck it up. I hope he doesn't. Thank you, Black Hebrew Israelite, by the way. The words of Biden, for dropping a deuce in the tip jar. The words Biden want to say, now stand with me as I use the FBI to go after those Republicans and ultra MAGA who disagree and didn't vote for me. As for you Negroes, if you don't vote for Democrats, you ain't black. Yeah, I got you there. It's Black Hebrew Israelite.
That's right.
All right, let's finish this up and let's see if he can get through it. Let's see if he can do it. I pray that he did, but obviously none of you even knew he did a speech, and I had to look it up. Maybe that's just that maybe it's because this is not one of those anniversaries you spot, like, 10 years or 20 years, 25 years. Every multiple of 10 is always the big one. 50 is a big one. 75 is a big one. 100 is a big one. Obviously, he won't be giving any of those speeches. But anyway, I think he's doing okay so far. I think he's keeping it unified about we as Americans and what this means. Let's see if he can do it for the rest of these, just under 5 minutes.
We regain the light by reaching out to one another and finding something all too rare, a true sense of national unity. To me, that's the greatest lesson of September 11th.
National unity, stay with that
Not
theme.
that we will never again face a setback, but that in the moment of great unity, we also had to face down
Stick with the unity theme.
the worst impulses. Fear, violence, recrimination directed against Muslim Americans, as well as Americans in Middle Eastern and South.
Okay. This is it's going in a direction. Like I said, he should have stopped. He should have stopped.
South Asian heritage. It's that for all our flaws and disagreements, in the push and pull of all that makes us human, there is a nation that cannot accomplish. There's nothing this nation cannot accomplish when we stand together.
You can't keep up.
And defend with all our hearts that which makes us unique in the world.
What is that, Joe?
Our democracy.
Oh, democracy, Drake. He only said it once so far. Here we go. Okay, I haven't seen this, but here he goes. He's going to start talking about threats to democracy. Am I right? Put a 1 if you think I'm right. Put a 2 if you think I'm wrong. I think that's where he's going right now. As soon as he said the word democracy, he's going to do it. Come on, Joe.
We're not only a nation based on principles, but we are based on an idea, unlike we're the most unique nation in the world.
Okay,
an idea
is starting to mumble
that
his
everyone
speech.
is created equal. and should be treated equally throughout their lives. We don't always live up to it, but we've never walked away from it.
Okay.
That's what makes us strong. That's what makes us who we are.
Stay there, Joe. Stay in
And
this
that's
theme.
what those hijackers
Unity
most
theme.
hope to destroy.
Stay in the unity theme,
They
Joe.
targeted our buildings and our people. They failed. No terrorist could touch the wellspring of American
Okay,
power.
Joe. You're doing good.
And it falls to us to keep it safe on behalf of all those we lost 21 years
stay
ago.
on the
On behalf
theme,
of
Joe.
all those who have given their
Stay on
whole
the unity,
souls
Joe.
to the cause of this nation every day since.
Stay on it.
That's a job for all of us. It's not enough to gather and remember each September 11th, those we lost more than 2 decades ago. Because on this day, it is not about the past, it's about the future. We have an obligation, a duty, a responsibility to defend, preserve, and protect our democracy. The very democracy that guarantees the rights of freedom that those terrorists on 9/11 sought to bury
Drink, Bill.
in the burning fire and smoke and ash. And that takes a commitment on the part of all of us. Dedication, hard work, every day. For always remember, the American democracy depends on the habits of the heart of we the people. That's how our Constitution, we the people.
What? See, this speech is too long for him. He starts getting lost and saying stuff that doesn't make sense, even though I understand what probably he meant to say there. And, you know, it's kind of like your mind naturally fills in the blanks when he does that, but he garbled something there. But your mind fills it in, so we know what he meant to say.
The habits of heart of we the people. It's not enough to stand up for democracy once a year or every now and then. It's something we have to do every single day. So this is a day not only to remember, but a day of renewal and resolve for each and every American.
He's doing good.
And our devotion to this country, to the principles it embodies, to our democracy. That is who we owe those who remember today. That is what we owe one another. And that is what we owe future generations of Americans to
I
come.
think he's doing okay.
I have no doubt we will do this. We will meet this significant responsibility. We'll secure our democracy together as one America, the United States of America. That's who we are. That's who your loved ones were and why they gave so much. Thank you. May God bless you all. And may God honor the members of the military we lost and all those we lost here on 9/11. May God protect our troops.
All right. You know what? I'm going to give him credit.
Well, thank you, thank you, General.
Hang on. I'm going to give him credit. He got through it without making it divisive. I think his unifying message, even though all those little democracy blurbs, you know what that was about. But it is what it is, right? I'll say he did a decent job of staying within the parameters of what he should have been saying. I think he did a good job. It's a well-written speech. Yeah, only democracy 7 times. Oh, do you want to watch his? Hey, you want to watch his cancer address? I can't imagine this is going to take long. Let's just do it. He's just being introduced by Caroline Kennedy right now. I wasn't even going to do this. This wasn't even the part of the plan today. But he's about to talk about cancer, and I want to hear his cancer speech because, you know, Joe's going to be, you know, one of the things he said during the campaign is he wanted to cure cancer. So let's see what Joe has to say here. Let's unmute this. Oops, hang on.
Special day for me personally because
This was
it's the
not
day
part of
that
the
my
plan today.
parents
This is
were
going to go
married
much longer.
69
I might have
years
to cut
ago.
this in half. We're at the Cancer Moonshot. I don't know what that
We're
means.
so happy to have Mayor Wu, Mayor Land.
You know what? I can't do this. Oh, we want to stay with this? Yeah, let's do it. What the hell? Whatever.
Senator Markey, Administrator Becerra, Governor Baker, Secretary Walsh, and so many members of the Massachusetts
It's not like we've
delegation.
been.
We're grateful for
It's
your
not like we've
support
never
of the library over
never been
many
working on
years.
curing cancer. This
I
has been
know
an
that many of
ongoing
you
thing for
and the state and local
100
officials here
years.
worked with closely
trying to
with
figure
my
out what we
Uncle
can do
Teddy
with
for the good of this
about
Commonwealth,
cancer.
and that you all share my father's love of politics. I want to recognize members of the medical community who are here, physicians,
Okay, then I want to wait till Biden
cancer
speaks.
survivors.
So anyway, what do you think in the chat or in the comment section? What do you think of? I'll mute this. What do you think of Biden's 9/11 speech? Put some in the comment section, or if you want to say in the chat. I thought it was okay. I mean, it was appropriate. He didn't go into politics, even though he dropped that democracy bomb 7 times. But I thought it was an appropriate speech for 9/11 from the President of the United States. He tried to stay into that unity thing, and he did, I think. Wasn't great, wasn't terrible, but it was a decent speech, written how it should have been, and didn't slide off the rail that they carefully built for him. So anyway, we're gonna I'll wait till he goes to the podium. Let me just take him off the screen for now. So he's gonna do some speech here, something about some cancer address, and Caroline Kennedy was up here, was talking before him. But one of his big campaign promises was, we're going to cure cancer. Like, yeah, that hasn't been an ongoing effort for, like I said, 100 years. And also there have been wonderful breakthroughs in that research, and, people survive cancer at a rate that we would have never heard of, even when I was a kid. Almost most cancers were, you got cancer about any kind of cancer, and it was, very alarming. People died, and whether it was breast cancer, colon cancer, pancreatic cancer, prostate cancer, all the cancers were just, it was like, you heard the word cancer, you're like, oh, they're going to die. And that's not the case hardly at all anymore. I mean, there's a few that you have, if you don't catch early, are more fatal, but the research and the progress on it has been amazing. He didn't mention mama trains or trucks. No, he did not. How can he cure cancer when he is cancer? That's a good point. Damn, that's cold. That is cold. Holy shit. It was probably a recycled Obama speech. Yeah, Joe's known for his plagiarism. I eat horse paste for cancer prevention. Well, John, I worry about you. Stop. He's a dickhead. Well, I know he's a dickhead, but come on. I'm gonna give him credit where credit's due. Let's see. Is the sign woman balding? Poor thing. No, she just has her hair pulled back. Thank you, FoxB2, with a YouTube super chat saying Biden thinks cancer is a tragedy because children getting chemo don't have hair to sniff. Oh! Gotcha, bitch. Oh my God, that was terrible. Thank you for sponsoring this show. That's nuts. I think he didn't write it. I think Obama wrote the democracy speech. Joe damn well didn't write that speech, but it was an appropriate speech. Most presidents don't write their own damn speeches. But I'd say it was an appropriate speech. Let's see here. Gosh, that's cold. It never goes away though. That's why all cancer patients have follow-up visits. Maddie's the expert, who just got through a successful round of chemo and all the treatments, which is awesome. When you was a kid, Dawg Knight, they didn't know what cancer was in them caveman days. You're a funny motherfucker. Yeah. That's some funny shit. God damn. All right. 81 million votes, the most loved man on earth. Yes! He is the most popular president in the history of presidential races. 81 million votes. Everybody believes that. I'm going to stay with it. Biden has cancer, sells for brains. We need to give Biden 500 rad stat. Oh, look. Oh, nah, this is funny. He's standing up here waiting for Caroline's still talking. She would shut the fuck up. We don't want to hear you. We want to hear the president. Come on. I'll switch over here at least so you can see what's going on. I'm not going to unmute it until Joe Biden walks up to the podium. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Yes, everyone's standing and clapping for the president. All right, let's listen to this one. I will pause this if I need to. Thank you, Kevin Evans, for subscribing.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Thank you. Madam Ambassador Caroline, thank you for that introduction and for your enduring friendship. I was talking earlier about how your family had a very difficult time in my life when I first got to the Senate as a 29-year-old kid before I was sworn in. I lost
that's
my
the same.
wife,
One and the
my
same,
daughter,
Dan
and
Fox.
my 2 boys were so
One and the
badly injured
same.
when struck by the tractor trailer. And
Wait, what? Whoa, what did he just struck by a tractor trailer? What? I'm gonna hear this intro again.
thank you, thank you, thank you.
He's gonna walk around with that mic.
Thank you.
I hope he doesn't get lost.
Madam Ambassador Caroline, thank you for that introduction and for your enduring friendship. I was talking earlier about how your family had a very difficult time in my life when I first got to the Senate as a 29-year-old kid before I was sworn in. I lost my wife and my daughter and my 2 boys who were so badly injured when struck by the tractor trailer.
Oh, notice he did. Hey, he finally stopped saying to a drunk driver. He finally stopped saying that because he was getting some flack for saying that this was a. No. He's talking about. No, he's talking about. He's just saying that he said the Kennedy family were an important part of his healing when his wife and kid died, but he stopped saying by a drunk driver. Remember, he used to say that, and facts of the matter were not. And that guy, someone in that family, finally started kind of a cease and desist on that because it was a lie. He was not a drunk driver.
And your family was there for me. No, I really mean it. Your family was there. For me.
No, I really mean it. I don't know why he always clarifies shit like that. Oh, this is not a joke. Oh, I really mean it. Oh, this and that. Are you saying, Joe, that nobody takes you seriously?
Remember some of it, and I'll never forget it. They got me and my boys through an awful lot. I'm truly honored to be with you all and your incredible family. And Jack, I believe your generation is the best educated, most talented generation in our history. And that's the reason I'm so optimistic about the future, and that's not hyperbole. I mean it.
And I mean it. I mean it. That's not hyperbole. I really mean it. Okay, Joe, we believe you that you mean it.
You know, Chital, thank you for sharing your powerful story. And thank you, Mayor Wu, for the passport in this great city. And thank you to Health and...
You're the president. You have a passport to every city, Joe.
Health and Human Services Secretary Becerra and Boston's own Marty Walsh. Marty,
that's me. That's me.
and thank you to the members of the Massachusetts delegation from the House, Representatives Presley, Lynch, Keating, and
so they're
Jack,
in Boston.
Jake, I should say, Auchincloss, and Laurie. Thank you as well for being here. You have beautiful daughters; they're great kids, and I want.
The jokes write themselves.
I want to thank all of you, cancer patients, survivors, caregivers, and don't jump from up there, okay? And all for all the leaders of science and medicine for being here today. This is a powerful place for reflection and remembrance. On this day in 1962, America was facing an inflection point.
Really?
One of those times that changes everything, from the day before to the day after. The shadow of world wars cast over a Cold War. The march
1962.
on civil rights, urgent yet uncertain. And against all of that and more, America faced a choice: to move forward or to move backwards, to build the future or obsess about the past, to be a nation of unity and hope and optimism, or a nation of division, violence, and hatred. At this inflection point, President Kennedy made a choice for the nation, thank God. On this day, in 1962 at Rice University in Houston, he spoke about America's possibilities. I was asked by Xi Jinping, who I met with more than any other world leader in the Tibetan
here comes a
Plateau,
story
and
that didn't happen.
He turned to me and he said, "Can you define America for me?" And I said,
One
yes,
word.
and I was sincere. I said, one word: possibilities. In America, we believe anything is possible.
He loves that story.
I mean it.
I mean it. I mean it. Because, again, you might not believe that story. I mean it. That's real. It's a real story. I'm telling the truth. I was first, the top of my class in law school. I do have 3 degrees. I mean it.
And in choosing to go to the moon, President Kennedy said America was doing so, quote, not because it was easy, but because it was hard. Because the goal will serve to organize and measure
So he's
the
going to call
best of
this
our
a
energies and
cancer
skills,
moonshot.
because that challenge is one that we are willing to accept. One we are unwilling to postpone, and one which we intend to win. Unwilling to postpone. President Kennedy, unwilling to postpone. President Kennedy set a goal to win the space race against Russia
He read the same
and advance
part.
science and technology
He read the
for
same
all of humanity.
He read the same part of the teleprompter twice.
And when he set that goal, he established a national purpose that could rally the American people in a common cause. And he succeeded. Now, in our time, on the 60th anniversary of his clarion call, we face another inflection point. And together, we can choose to move forward with unity, hope, and optimism. And I believe we can usher in the same unwillingness to postpone, the same national purpose that will serve to organize and measure the best of our energies and skills to end cancer as we know it, and even cure cancers once and for all.
Here's the problem. So Joe's basically, is he announcing that he's gonna, they're gonna do this cancer moonshot? We're gonna put all our efforts into cancer. We're gonna do this, whatever. I'm gonna guess. I don't want to make too much of an assumption, but I'm gonna guess that cancer may be the most researched disease in the history of man. And there's been constant research. There's been constant money thrown at it, especially certain types of cancer. They throw money at breast cancer at the expense of colon cancer, prostate cancer, or stuff like that. But I got to tell you, this is odd to me. But this was part. Remember, this was in his campaign speech. Oh, we're gonna end cancer as we know, end cancer. Now there have been, and plus, here's the thing. There have been some interesting recent breakthroughs that probably needs more testing, but happen that despite or in lieu of the current president. But I'm curious. There's a lot. Oh yeah, and you're right, y'all. There's all different kinds of cancers.
I give you my word as a Biden, this cancer moonshot.
I give you my word as a Biden. Okay. Scale of 1 to 10. Chat. Scale of 1 to 10. How much, 10 being immense and 1 meaning ain't shit. Joe's word as a Biden. How much is that worth on a scale of 1 to 10? 10, immense. 1 ain't shit. Put it in the chat. I give you my word as a Biden. You realize your son's a Biden. You realize you're a Biden. If it was Jill Biden, maybe I'd give it a 5. Holy
One
shit.
of the reasons why I ran for president.
No,
It's
is
part
it
of my unity agenda that I laid out in my State of the Union
unity
address to rally the American people to work together.
against
Because we
MAGA?
know this, cancer does not discriminate red and blue. It doesn't care if you're a Republican or a Democrat. Beating cancer
Why are
is
you making
something
this
we
a
can do
political thing?
together.
Why do you
And that's why I'm here today.
Okay, we've been trying to beat cancer for 100 years, and this is not new. Cancer research
We've
has
made
been
enormous
ongoing,
progress
and
in the past 50 years since President Nixon signed the National Cancer Act to declare a war on cancer.
no, he's
We
giving,
learned cancer is
Nixon some
not a
credit.
single disease, but there are over 200 different types of cancer caused.
I'm going to pause because our friend Maddie's got a priority chat here. Thank you for dropping a 5 in the tip jar, Maddie. And you know what? You still are the Streamlamp Superstar sponsor of the day.
You are the new Streamlamp Superstar sponsor of the day.
Okay, Maddie with the dropping 5 says, this village idiot couldn't cure the common cold. How the hell does he expect to cure all cancer? My word as a Biden, his word isn't worth a 25-cent cup of ice. His bullshit could fertilize a cornfield. Damn! Damn! Way to go, Maddie. All right, let's keep going here.
By different genetic mutations in our cells.
Yes, they're all different.
Discovered new medicines, therapies, early detection and prevention measures to extend and to save lives. In the first 25 years since the National Cancer Act, the death rate from cancer largely remained unchanged. Then things began to change. With progress over the last 25 years, the death rate from cancer has fallen more than 25%. But despite the progress of lives extended, lives saved, cancer is still the #2 cause of death in America, second only to heart disease. For too many cancer patients and their families, instead of hope, there's bewilderment. The feeling of being on your own. Frustration that hospitals said doctors can't easily share your medical records with other hospitals and doctors to help find answers, even
Wait, what?
when every minute counts.
What did he just say? Are you saying that hospitals can't share? I'm sorry, I had to go back.
Early detection and prevention measures to extend.
Thank you, John
to
R.
save
for the super
lives.
chat. I appreciate it.
In the first 25 years since the National Cancer Act, the death rate from cancer largely remained unchanged. Then things began to change. With progress over the last 25 years, the death rate from cancer has fallen more than 25%.
Sorry, I didn't mean to go back that far.
But despite the progress of lives extended, lives saved, cancer is still the #2 cause of death in America, second only to heart disease. For too many cancer patients and their families, instead of hope, there's bewilderment.
I disagree. I disagree. I don't think that we've come so far that there's always hope, and I think the disappointment is when things don't work. But we've gotten to a point where a lot of cancers now, the survivability rates is very high, and so that's interesting. But no one ever wants to hear you got cancer. I guarantee that, because your first thought is, especially if you're my age, when you heard the word cancer, and that meant death. I hear that. I see it a lot less. I know so many cancer survivors. Now, not all. I have family members who died from cancer, But it's depending on what kind of cancer, I suppose. Anyway.
Feeling of being on your own. Frustration that hospitals said doctors can't easily share your medical records with other hospitals and doctors. Help.
What year is he living in? I'm pretty sure that it's pretty easy if you're a patient of some sort and you decide to go to a different facility to get a second opinion or some other opinions. I think I think your medical records can be shared easily if you give them permission. I don't know what the fuck he's talking about here. But anyway, here we go.
Find answers, even when every minute counts. Having to advocate for even the most basic care and attention for your loved ones. The flood of information is a completely different language with few people available to help you decipher it. Having therapy that can work within reach, but is too expensive or insurance won't cover it. And so when President Obama asked me to launch a cancer moonshot, our goal was to bring an added urgency, a new urgency.
Wait, what? President Obama asked you to initiate a cancer moonshot? What? What are you talking about?
Right. And in my view, not unlike President Kennedy did, we harnessed federal resources to change the culture, increase cooperation, and break down the silos that exist. That included everything from making published results of federally funded cancer research more available to any patient, to any doctor, for free, instead of the firewall that had been set up.
I'm really confused. Federal cancer research. Is it not free to the hospitals? I'm confused. But I this firewall of information, I think even the research hospitals that are doing this on their own, that aren't doing federal funding, are sharing their information when they get it. What the hell is he talking about? That included
recognition that for many cancer patients, it's hard to even know if there's a clinical trial that can help them, let alone how to enroll in one.
Clinical trial is not about
helping. So we launched
okay.
trials.cancer.gov so everyone can find a clinical trial near them or across the country. And the world.
What if you don't need a clinical trial? What if you need just treatment of something that we already know how to treat? This is so confusing, but anyway.
And they can gain access to these trials. I've traveled the country, brought together leaders in healthcare, technology, education, business, philanthropy.
When did you travel the country?
I visited many of the major cancer research centers in the world.
Is this one of those I've been everywhere Joe things? I'm just curious. I've traveled the world. I've been to all the cancer research facilities, and I'm an expert on cancer.
And nowhere, no matter where I was or what the topic at hand, world leaders wanted to talk to me about our cancer moonshot.
Did they?
That's not
really? Really? All the world leaders wanted to talk to you about our cancer moonshot. Is that? Soon they'll take credit for Trump's right to try. Oh, I bet he will.
Hyperbole, that's a fact.
There he goes. That's not
Francis convened.
That's not hyperbole. That's a fact. When he starts pulling that out, you know he's bullshitting. He's bullshitting. Whenever he says that, you know he's bullshitting. Anyway, he's about to say something about Pope Francis.
That's not hyperbole, that's a fact. For example, Pope Francis convened a major international conference on cell therapies at the Vatican and invited me to speak about our mission. One of the final pieces of legislation President Obama signed into law was the bipartisan 21st Century Cures Act. It streamlined the Food and Drug Administration, the FDA,
by creating
an oncology center of excellence so new cancer treatments can be evaluated faster. It provided 7 years of new funding, including research on cancer therapies and the disparities, trial networks to discover new drugs, and new efforts in childhood cancer. As President of the United States Senate, I presided over the overwhelming bipartisan vote and watched my friend Mitch McConnell name the cancer provisions in that bill after my son Bo, who had lost his life to that disease just months earlier. And when we left office, Jill and I knew we had to keep going through, keep it up. So we initiated the Biden Cancer Initiative. We focused on turning the moonshot into a movement, not just a shot, a movement, to create a cancer research and care system that most people think we're already.
If you heard about this before today in the chat, put a Y. If you heard about this before today, before this speech, put a Y in the chat.
We have.
Put an N if you haven't. Y if you've heard of it, N if you haven't.
But they don't realize until they find they have cancer that we don't, but one that we deserve. And everywhere we'd go, people would share their stories. Literally. In grocery stores, airports, rope lines.
Really?
While we heard stories of loss and despair, the stories began to change to a feeling of real hope. Not because of me or Jill,
Well,
but because of all of you and so many of you at home. Doctors, researchers, advocates, caregivers, patients, survivors. And that's when I was elected president. I determined to supercharge the cancer moonshot as a central effort in the Biden-Harris administration. In February, I laid out our plan that is bold, ambitious, and I might add, completely doable.
If the research hits.
The goal is to cut cancer death rates by at least 50%, in the next 25 years. To turn more cancer.
So let's see. At the rate we've been going, cut the cancer death rates by 50% in 25 years by 2047. How many of you think that if Joe didn't even ever make this speech, that the research and successes would cut cancer by 50% in 25 years without him making this speech and doing any initiative whatsoever, because there was already enough research going on? In 25 years, cutting the cancer rate by 50%. Who thought it would happen anyway?
Cancer, some death sentences into chronic diseases people can live with. To create more supportive experience for patients and families. And to update our fight against the cancer. It's a disease we often diagnose too late and have too few ways to prevent it in the first place. Where there are stark inequities based on race, disability, zip code, sexual orientation, gender identity, and other factors.
In cancer? In cancer?
We know too little about why treatments work for some patients, but the same patient, the different patient with the same disease, it doesn't work for. We still lack strategies for developing treatments for some cancers, like childhood cancers. We don't do enough to help patients and families navigate the cancer care system. We don't learn enough from their experience as patients. We don't share enough data and knowledge to bring the urgency we need.
Again, here he goes. We don't share enough data and knowledge. Really? Are you sure? You don't think these researchers, hospitals that are finding, new progress, do not share it in medical journals and with each other? We're not sharing the progress that we make in federally funded research. We're just not sharing it. We don't share that shit at all. We keep it to ourselves because we want to be the only experts. Now, there could be a little bit of, I don't get it. I don't get it.
Defining.
Thank you, David and Lincoln, for subscribing.
New answers. But for each of the ways we know cancer today, we know we can change the trajectory. For example, to prevent cancers, scientists are exploring whether mRNA vaccine technology that brought us safe and effective COVID-19 vaccines could be used to stop cancer cells when they first arise.
I'm not knocking the research. I'd like to say, if that's what they want to research, great. But safe and effective. Thank you, Maddie, for dropping another 5 in the tip jar. Maddie says, told ya. This idiot doesn't even know it's genetic and that there is a way to prevent it. That's why there are early screenings, HPV vaccinations, and other ways to prevent or catch it early. It's up to the person to take care of themselves. Thank you, Maddie. Agreed. Let's keep it going.
Right treatments, we're learning more about how to use genetics, immune response, and other factors to tell which combinations of treatments are likely to work best for each individual. To address inequities, we can't.
Do you think that, well, we're already doing it. I mean, if they put if they're committing more money to it, whatever, that's great.
And ensure prevention, detection, treatment, reach patients in urban, rural, suburban, and tribal communities so they have equal access.
There will never be equal access, Joe. I'm sorry. There just won't. You can do your best to get people to get the screenings they need, etc. But we don't have equal access because there's never equal. You can't move people geographically. So you just got to figure out how you're going to get those things to them or them to the screenings, whatever. You got to figure it out. But the idea that there's going to be equal access, yeah, no.
Rural, suburban, and tribal communities so they have equal access to cancer diagnostics,
there will never be equal access.
Therapeutics, and clinical trials. As part of the supercharged moonshot, I'll use my authorities as president to
what
increase
authority?
Funding to break log jams into speed break.
You don't have authority as president. You need to go through your legislature. You can't just wave a wand and say, I declare I'm going to give you more money. Well, you've been doing that, but one of these days someone's going to catch up with you.
Breakthroughs. I've also formed a new cancer cabinet that's driving a whole government effort to unleash every possible asset within our power, from NASA, that knows more about radiation than any doctor does, to the Defense Department, that has the ability to calculate, and the Energy Department, do 1 million billion calculations per second. Health and Human Services. Secretary Becerra plays a key role in the cancer cabinet, as does Marty Walsh, a childhood cancer survivor,
who
is committed to helping Americans get time off for cancer screenings or care for a loved one. The White House Office of Science and Technology Policy is changing the path for the cancer moonshot for 2022 and beyond. And today, I'm setting a long-term goal for the cancer moonshot to rally America and ingenuity that we can engage like we did to reach the moon, that actually cures cancers, not all cancers, cures for cancers once and for all. And a critical way to do that is that going through what I call ARPA-H, Advanced Research Projects Agencies for Health. It's based on DARPA, the Advanced Research Projects Agencies for Health, what I call ARPA-H, Advanced Research Projects Agencies for Health, through what I call ARPA-H, Advanced Research Projects Agencies for Health. It's based on DARPA, the Defense Department's Advanced Research Projects Agency, that has helped lead the breakthroughs in technologies to protect our national security, like the internet, GPS, and so much more. ARPA-H will have the singular purpose to drive breakthroughs to prevent, detect, and treat diseases including cancer, Alzheimer's, diabetes, and other diseases.
Heart disease!
Enable us to live healthier lives.
Heart disease! You said it was the high...
ARPA-H in my campaign. And after being elected president, notwithstanding the fact that Democrats and Republicans allegedly don't talk to one another, Republicans...
What?
Notwithstanding the fact that Democrats and Republicans allegedly don't talk to one another...
What?
The president, notwithstanding the fact that Democrats and Republicans allegedly don't talk to one another, being elected president, notwithstanding the fact that Democrats and Republicans allegedly don't talk to one another,
Republicans,
Independents, and Democrats in Congress came together and invested $1 billion initially to launch ARPA-H. Imagine the possibilities.
Hey, zombie titty.
Vaccines that could prevent cancer, like there is for HPV. Imagine molecular zip codes that could deliver drugs and gene therapy precisely to the right tissues. Imagine simple blood tests during an annual physical that could detect cancer early for the chance of the cure or best. Imagine getting a simple shot instead of a grueling chemo, or getting a pill from a local pharmacy instead of invasive treatment.
Okay, I'm pretty sure we're far out from that, but you never know. You never know where researchers are. We don't hear about the research that's going on right now, which has been going on for years. I'm going to look up this cancer moonshot thing because I don't know when this started, but I it's just rattling off stuff. I don't know. I'm not, notwithstanding the fact that Republicans and Democrats don't usually talk to each other. Is that what he said? Okay, that's probably, yeah. He slurs a lot. It just is. And that's, anyway, let's keep going.
And long hospital stays. Imagine treatments beyond cancer. Bold approaches to reduce maternal mortality and morbidity. Something Vice President Harris is laser focused on.
Laser?
Really? Artificial retinas.
Wait. Did he just say
blind people see?
He just said Vice President Harris is laser focused on? Doesn't she have her hands full with being the border czar? I mean, she's laser focused on. Okay, she did a speech about something today. Maybe I'll look that up later.
And imagine artificial retinas that could help blind people see. These are just a few of the ideas.
Imagine all the people with retinas they can see.
To illustrate the amazing potential of ARPA-H. When President Kennedy called for a moonshot, we didn't have all the tools and experience needed. With our cancer moonshot today, we do.
Do we?
I'm pleased to announce my selection as the inaugural director of ARPA-H, Dr. Renee Wegerson, who is here today. Doctor,
careful,
where are you?
Doc. Careful.
Stand up.
Careful, Joe. You almost said something else. And who is this doctor? Where's she from? She's probably got credentials. But...
A leading biomedical scientist, a decade of experience leading multiple biotech projects at DARPA. And by the way, it's about how to use all the assets we have, all of them. An entrepreneur in synthetic biology. She's going to bring the legendary DARPA attitude and culture and boldness and risk-taking to ARPA-H to fill a critical need. Discoveries that save lives.
Jimmy, spot on. Imagine all you have to do is give them unlimited power and money. Oh my goodness. That is some spot on shit right there. Thank you, Gardner Ruggles Jr. for subscribing. Appreciate you. Welcome to the family. Welcome to the dog pound.
Change lives and they often start in the lab bench. But then those basic research breakthroughs need to be tested.
Oh, see, the speech is going too long. He's starting to slur. Oh, shit, what'd I just do? Sorry about that. I don't know if I can go back now. What'd I just do? Hold up. Sorry, folks. I accidentally clicked a button I should not have. Let's fix this right now. Hopefully it'll go right back to where it was. Nope. Oh, because this show's over.
Within our power, from NASA, that knows more about radiation than a year. Thousands of women are taking breast cancer in America. Support to get a experience needed. With our cancer moonshot today, we do. I'm pleased to announce my selection.
Where we were. Okay, we're back where we are.
A leading biomedical scientist.
Okay, no.
It's about how to use all the assets we have, all of them. An entrepreneur in synthetic biology. She's going to bring the legendary DARPA attitude and culture and boldness and risk-taking to ARPA-H.
Wait a
Full
minute.
of critical need.
Remind me what DARPA
Discoveries that
is.
save lives, change
Isn't
lives.
that some nefarious shit?
And they often start in the lab bench. But then those basic research breakthroughs need to be tested.
Yeah, he started, like, this is where he started to slur. Because his speech is too long.
Scaled and brought to the clinic. This may require unusual partnerships. They may require support to get over many obstacles that exist. That's why ARPA-H is designed what it's designed to do, so the advances can reach all Americans sooner. I predict ARPA-H will emerge as a new and exciting member of America's biomedical ecosystem.
Yeah, I don't know.
But it's not enough.
It's not enough.
Technologies
It's not
lives.
enough. But
We need
there's
to manufacture
there's more.
advanced biotechnologies here in the United States. That's why today I signed an executive order that directs the federal government to ensure biotechnologies invented in the United States of America are made in the United States of America. Whether they are for cancer treatments
I don't have any problem with that, but why do
or
you need an
anything else
executive
like
order for
next
that?
generation fuels and materials, today's action is going to ensure that America leads the world in
Yes, Annalyn, more government
biotechnology,
spending.
biomanufacturing, creating jobs, reducing prices, strengthening supply chains so we don't have to rely on anywhere else in the world. Here in America will be made. And there's more that we're doing. Inflation Reduction Act, that signed into law, puts a $2,000 cap on the total prescription drug costs for any senior on Medicare, including cancer medicine. And for so many people, one of the first things they think about when they get a diagnosis, how am I going to pay for the treatment?
Well,
Do we need to sell the house? Do we need to skip payments on the car? Can we afford to send the kids to college? The Inflation Reduction Act is a godsend. It's going to save people.
is that the first or second thing you think of when you hear you have cancer? Is it the first thing you think of? He said that's the first thing you think of. I would think it'd be the second or third thing. Just saying.
One prostate cancer drug, about $6,000 a year. Thousands of women are taking breast cancer treatments that will see about a $7,000 a year savings. But that's not all. When I led the cancer moonshot as vice president, one of the biggest issues
Well, the cancer moonshot when I was vice president.
I talked about was how federally funded cancer researchers were not sharing their results with their peers or the public because they wanted to have the answer. You all know it. As I mentioned earlier, we made federally funded cancer research more available to any patient, to any doctor, anywhere, for free. Today, as president,
Free?
we're making sure that
What
transparency
is
applies
free?
to all
It's free.
federally funded science beyond just cancer. And this summer, I announced the new head of the National Cancer
Everything's
Institute,
free. Yay.
Boston's own, Monica Bertinelli, excuse me. Monica, you can call me Bidden. And she's here today. Where are you, Monica?
Okay, that
Stand
was
up.
funny. Good recovery,
Thank
Joe.
you.
I'll give you that recovery right there. That was funny. You could call me Bidden. Everything's free, Selector Boy. Didn't you know that?
The
Everything's
National
free.
Cancer Institute is launching a major national trial for those new tests I mentioned that could detect one or more cancers merely by taking blood samples. You know, if that's the case, these blood tests could lead to less
So
invasive
that
cancer
happened
detection tools
before
that will save
you
lives.
became to office.
We're also
then?
launching the first ever Cancer Moonshot Scholar Program to support a new generation of scientists from every background, from every part of the country, to launch their cutting-edge research and careers. But we need everyone to get in the game. That's
Get in
why I'm
the
also
game.
calling on the
Get in the
science and
game.
medical communities to bring the boldest thinking to this fight.
Because
calling
they've,
on the
you know,
private
because they've
sector.
been, because so far since 1962, they have been bringing their weak sauce game to the game. Now he wanted to bring your boldest, whatever, to the game because they haven't even, these motherfuckers haven't even been trying. Now that Joe spoke up, they're going to start trying again because they stopped trying in about 1977 because they said, fuck it, this is too hard. And we aren't trying in this at all. Jesus Christ.
To develop and test new treatments, make drugs more affordable, share more data and knowledge that can inform the public.
So true, Peggy.
Every company's research. And I'm respectfully calling on people living with
Jimmy
cancer
Doss.
and
How about
caregivers
teaching
and
people to be
families
healthy and ignoring
to keep
the
sharing
lies
their
of the food
experience and
pyramid?
pushing for progress. Go to whitehouse.gov/cancer moonshot. Share your ideas.
Go to my website.
So many of you have already made a difference. Last month, I signed the so-called PACT Act into law. One of the most significant laws helping veterans and their families impacted by toxic exposure, like burn pits that lead to cancer. It was veterans and their families, advocates and allies who helped me get this bill to my desk. They never gave up. They never stopped. They slept in the Capitol steps.
Okay, so this is what they said that Republicans weren't supporting because it was part of a massive bill that had all kinds of other crap in it. So when Republicans voted against the massive bill, this was part of that bill. And so it became a talking point for the president.
It matters. It's personal to all of us. So let me close with this. Caroline, I couldn't be here and not talk about your Uncle Teddy. He was one of my dearest friends. One of the things that brings us
And a
close as family
scumbag.
is the dreaded cancer that he and I both fought to the end and died months apart. After Bo passed, Vicky wrote me a letter about how, after Ted lost his older brother Joe, his father wrote to a friend who just lost his son. Caroline, your grandfather wrote, and I quote, "When one of your loved ones goes out of your life, you think of what he might have done with a few more years, and you wonder what you're going to do with the rest of yours. Then one day..."
Unlike Joe, who wonders which color socks he put on this morning.
Because there's a world to be lived in, you find you are part of it, trying to accomplish something he did not have time enough to do. And perhaps that is the reason for it all. I hope so. End of quote. For so many...
Okay, I'm just curious. Is that something they put in his speech that he keeps reading that end of quote? Do they put it in parentheses or something that he reads that? Is he supposed to be reading that? End of quote.
Many of us, that's what we're trying to do. Live a life worthy of the loved ones we've lost.
That is so weird.
The loved ones we can save. With their hope and absolute courage, and with an unwillingness to postpone, and with a singular purpose for ourselves as a nation. President Kennedy said in this day 60 years ago, "We set sail on this new sea because there's new life-saving knowledge to be gained that must be used for progress of all people." End of quote.
End of quote again.
In our time today, that's our charge to keep, in my view. I know we can do this together because I know this.
He did it
There's
again.
nothing beyond our capacity if we work together as the United States of America.
All right. I think
God
this is the
bless
end.
you all, and may God protect our troops. Thank you for listening.
Protect our troops from cancer. All right. Enough of that. Anyway, so we're going to have a bold new initiative. We're going to go where no man has gone before. We've never thought of researching cancer. I got a feeling that they know of some breakthrough that's coming that they just haven't talked much about. because there are some new breakthroughs that we keep hearing about. The one therapy now the one where they said that it completely put 28 of 28 people in remission. I think there's some questions about that one. I don't remember which kind of cancer it was, but oh my God, Maddie, I think my cancer came back with this speech. Holy shit. Oh. Oh, damn. Anyway, so this was the bonus speech. We got to watch the 9/11 speech, and now we got the cancer speech. Joe Biden saving the world. Let me know what you think. If you got through this, and you're going, how did this end up so long? Well, because we ended up watching 2 speeches. If you got through it, tell me what you thought of the speeches in the comment section below. Do you think the 9/11 speech was the right tone for the president of the United States? Do you think he successfully stayed away from hinting at his prior speeches, or, was it unifying or non-unifying? That's all I got to say. And then finally, as far as this cancer speech, is any of this new, or is it just something he's doing to, is this a political thing? Because cancer's probably the most researched disease on the planet, at least in the United States. I got to tell you that. I'm curious when they're going to work on the heart disease thing, but that's it. So anyway, those of you who joined me today live to watch this show, thank you so much for being here. Thanks to the sponsors, Maddie and Black Hebrew Israelite, Fox P2, and new subscribers. It's funny. Over the last few weeks, there have been more and more subscribers, and it's nice to see. I'm almost up at almost at 1,350 now. But there's been a rash of new subscribers, and I don't know if it's because of topics or short videos or what, but I appreciate all of you who join us. No, my regular show is 10 o'clock Eastern, Monday through Friday on the morning night live. Join me then, and these afternoon views will be kind of as needed as I find videos to look at. Some will be long, some will be short. Not think any of them are going to be as long as these 2 put together. I may cut this in half. We'll see. But anyway, thank you. I appreciate you. This show is over. My name is Dawg Knight, and I am out of here. Bye-bye. Hey, this is Dawg Knight, and thank you for watching today on the Dawg Knight Channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cash App, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm Dawg Knight, and I'm out of here.